kilometers, and it has a warhead of over 400 kgs. That's half a ton. And 3 aircraft types in these 3 air forces carry this. They could use it to strike at targets in Iran. So apart from the Storm Shadow, you have the Army Tactical Missile System. Now, the ATACMS is a ballistic missile that's only in the inventory of Bahrain. Tiny Bahrain is the only country in the region to have this ballistic missile that has a range of around 350 kilometers. It's a short-range ballistic missile, but it's enough for Bahrain to target targets inside Iran. And then you have Chinese systems called the Wing Loon. Now, the Wing Loon is a male UCAV, that is a medium altitude, long endurance, unmanned combat aerial vehicle. Now, the Wing Loon is in the inventory of Saudi Arabia. It's a Chinese drone. It has a payload capacity of something like 450 kgs, and it can stay aloft for over 30 hours. Now, that's enough for Saudi Arabia to launch attacks at Iran using this. Now, the Wing Loon UCAV carries, as I said, 450 kgs, mainly bombs and surface-to-air missiles. Now, Saudi Arabia also has a very, very important missile which few other countries in the region do not have, and that is the Dongfeng 21. Now, the Dongfeng 21 is a unique missile. This is believed to have been acquired by Saudi Arabia in the 80s or the 90s. The number of these missiles is not known, but this is believed to be a missile that the Saudi Arabia military forces acquired for possible use with a nuclear weapon at some point. These are, of course, never been proven. This missile has been seen in parades. It's a Chinese-made ballistic missile with a range of over 2,500 kilometers. Now, that is one of the Saudi Arabia is the only country in the region, in fact, apart from Iran, that has a ballistic missile of this capability. In fact, it's the only GCC country in the region to have this ballistic missile, which it has used. It's shown in parades, but it's never really formally fired it, test fired it. So the status of this is unknown, but this could be one possible way that Saudi Arabia could, retaliate against Iranian missiles that are hitting all of its, oil infrastructure and its cities and its military bases. So primarily, these would be the systems that all of these countries would use if they were given the go-ahead to launch attacks against Iran.
Is being pulled out of the rubble.
Best solution for us is elections, and we hope that in the next elections we will be able to change the government and to attain a government that is a good one, that will be able to correct everything that was completely destroyed in our country in the past 3 years. And actually didn't attack us until we attacked them first. They did not actually attack us. So I don't think that they will attack us unless we attack them.
I'm an Israeli, and I'm very worried about the war and where Israel is going to, whether the war or what's happening in the government. So I'm coming and to protest and to show that we do care. And not everyone is for the government, not everyone is for the war. Some people are against. Solution is solution. Peace. This is the only solution. Talking, having borders, having peace. That's all. Stop killing.
Dissent is growing inside Israel as the war in the Middle East intensifies. In Tel Aviv, hundreds of demonstrators gathered to demand an end to Israel's attacks on Iran and Lebanon. The protests come as millions of Israelis continue to take shelter daily from rockets, missiles, and drones. In just 3 weeks of conflict, at least 18 Israelis have been killed and more than 3,000 wounded. Visuals from the protest show demonstrators chanting slogans and beating drums. Some protesters wore prisoner-style costumes and masks resembling Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Itamar Ben-Gvir.
We are people who resist this war. We think it's just keep the blood circle that's going on for a very long time in our region. And we believe that it doesn't help the Iranian people, which we really support, and we really wish them happy and peaceful life. But right now, what our governments are doing, ours and the U.S., they are caring only about their own interests and not ours, like the civilians. I don't believe the last 2 years has taught us, and the past 70 years has taught us that wars are not solving anything, they're just creating more problems. We believe that the way to solve this problem in the Middle East is first to stop the Israeli occupation in the West Bank and to start a real negotiation about establishment of a Palestinian state. We think that we can support and help the Iranian people in their struggle to change the regime in their country, but not by bombing them, but by assisting them in all kinds of ways and publishing around the world what's going on there and what are the things that the regime is doing.
He's using the war as a smoke sign, as a smoke screen to prevent people from understanding his true means and the targets. I think personally this war will only serve in order to further suppress the Palestinian people in the West Bank, in Jerusalem, in East Jerusalem, within Israel. They shouldn't pretend that this war is for the good of the Iranian people or of the Israeli people. It's only good for Netanyahu's government. I'm not a general or a politician, so I don't really have a solution for this kind of things, but I do remember that just a couple of days before the outbreak of the war, the facilitators of the negotiations, the Omani facilitators said that conversations between Iranians and the US and Israel, well, actually just US, but they were going actually surprisingly well, and there's only a couple of small details left. So I think, because I'm against the war, that it would be good if they'd let that process play out and not just bomb.
The war is bad because it is not contributing really to our security. Only 7 months ago, Netanyahu said that they managed to control Iran's for generations to come. And these generations to come only lasted for 7 months. And right now, they don't really have actual goals for this war. Every goal that they are saying are not attainable. They will not be able to control Iran's nuclear program. They will not be able to control Iran's government. They will not be able to do anything really that they are trying to say that they are trying to achieve. Best solution for us is elections, and we hope that in the next elections we will be able to change the government and to attain a government that is a good one, that will be able to correct everything that was completely destroyed in our country in the past 3 years. And actually didn't attack us until we attacked them first. They did not actually attack us. So I don't think that they will attack us unless we attack them.
Others gathered near Netanyahu's residence, holding signs condemning the government's actions. Placards read, "Refuse the war," and "Palestinian lives matter," reflecting broader anger. Some protesters were also seen being detained by Israeli police during the demonstration. Protesters say the war is fueling a cycle of violence rather than resolving it. One demonstrator said the conflict does not help the Iranian people and only serves political interests. Another argued that decades of war have failed to bring solutions, only more instability. Many called for an end to the Israeli occupation in the West Bank and renewed negotiations. They stressed the need for a Palestinian state as part of a lasting resolution.
Protesting because of the war that we are 22 days are still running to the shelter without any aim, because we understood that in the beginning our tyrant said that we are fighting against the Iranian regime, but 8 months ago he said that we are defeat them for generations, and 8 months later we are still running to the shelters because we are fighting against Iran regime. And this time we are with the American attacking Iran, and nobody really knows what is going to be the end and when this war will end, and what is the purpose, because every time they change the purpose for the war, the aims for the war. And meantime we are getting a lot of tiredness, we are exhausted. We would like to know what's going to be on the day after. And that's why I wrote my signs already. And now we want some relaxation. And the history showed that if you try to change the regime, it didn't work. States didn't work. Lots of places in the world. In Vietnam, it didn't work in Afghanistan. It didn't work in other places, and as long as the people are not uprising against the regime, it's not going to work. And meantime, the war, the rest of the world is suffering. It's what is going on in the Gulf area, in the Emirates area, and they closed the Hormuz.
I'm an Israeli, and I'm very worried about the war and where Israel is going to, whether the war or what's happening in the government. So I'm coming and to protest and to show that we do care. And not everyone is with the government, not everyone is for the war. Some people are against. Solution is peace. Peace is the only solution. Talking, having borders, having peace. That's all. Stop killing.
Several demonstrators questioned the overall purpose and direction of the war. They said the government's stated goals are unclear and possibly unattainable. Some argued Israel cannot control Iran's nuclear program or political system through force. Others highlighted the growing exhaustion among civilians forced into shelters daily. The demonstrations reflect a widening divide within Israeli society. As the conflict continues to escalate, voices on the streets are demanding change. From calls for peace to criticism of leadership, the protests signal growing